We would like to welcome you to the Odra Health Care Channel. If you have been looking for information on how to increase brown adipose tissue in your body, we have our top 3 compilation videos that we have researched and want to present to you. Also, we have provided the information to their different YouTube channels. Make sure that you visit them. Please don't copyright strike us. This is to inform, educate, and entertain our audience. But first off, there are links at the bottom in the description of this video that will take you to the official page that you see here. If you are looking for some fantastic information on a weight loss supplement that is also said to target your brown fat, or what is called low brown adipose tissue, BAT. Note, as it says here, that this is said to be the real root cause of your belly fat and not diet or exercise, as you can see it says here. The featured official website or supplement is called Exapure, Weight Loss Supplement. Also, as you can see here as well, this featured supplement is said to be GMP certified. This is also said to be made in an FDA-registered facility. Made with natural ingredients. Manufactured in the USA as well. Also, the featured supplement is said to be GMO-free, as you can see here as we scroll. Now pay particular attention to here, where it shows the ingredients that this featured supplement is said to contain: perilla, kudzu, holy basil, white Korean ginseng, amur cork bark as well, propolis, quercetin, and oleuropein as well. There is much more information for you to see once you get to the official page as well. So, if you want to look more into the featured website to see the supplement for yourself, all that you have to do is just click on the links provided in this description to see more on the featured Exapure weight loss supplement. But now, let's get to our selection of videos that we have researched for how to increase brown adipose tissue in your body. We hope that you will enjoy it. Where we researched the videos from. Video number 1 is from the Forsyth Tech CTLE YouTube channel. Video number 2 is from the nutritionfacts.org YouTube channel. Video number 3 is from the nutritionfacts.org YouTube channel.
Okay, so next let's think about adipose tissue. Adipose tissue has several jobs. One job of adipose tissue is to store fat, and fat, of course, represents an energy source for organisms. Gram for gram, fat has more energy in it than glucose does. So fat is a good way for organisms to store energy. But there are other benefits to having adipose tissue. Adipose tissue helps to cushion organs. If you push on your eyes, you can tell that they're sort of cushioned, and the tissue that's doing that, in part, is adipose tissue. There's adipose tissue around your heart, around your kidneys. You may have adipose tissue under your skin, and that helps to insulate your body from the cold. So adipose tissue has a variety of functions. The tissue itself isn't incredibly complicated. Adipose cells are very large cells, depending upon how much fat they have stored in them, and the central area of the cell is the fat storage area. And so as the cells accumulate fat, the nucleus of the cell actually gets pushed over to the side. And so that's pretty much what an adipose cell looks like. And adipose tissue is a little different from a lot of connective tissues in that the cells are closer together. So when you have a group of adipose cells, it sort of looks like air bubbles or spaces within a tissue. And you can see this when we look at a micrograph of some adipose tissue. Now this is actually a microscope slide of the trachea, and surrounding the trachea we have some adipose tissue, and that just helps to cushion that particular organ. So if we try and trace that, you can see here is is an adipose cell. Here's an adipose cell. You don't always see the nucleus because it depends on how the cell was sectioned. There's an adipose cell. Here's one. Here's one. So adipose tissue has a large centralized fat storage area with the nucleus pushed to the side. Functions of adipose tissue include storing fat, which is an energy source, protecting, insulating, cushioning, etc.
Until about 10 years ago, brown adipose tissue was considered to be biologically active only in babies and small children, generating heat by burning fat. But there is now no doubt that active brown fat is present in adult humans, involved in cold-induced increases in whole-body calorie expenditure, and thereby the control of body temperature and how fat we are. In 2013, researchers showed that one could activate brown adipose tissue if you chill out people long enough. 2 hours of cold exposure every day for 6 weeks, which can lead to a significant reduction in body fat. Although they demonstrated the effective recruitment of human brown fat, it would seem difficult to increase exposure to cold in daily life. Thankfully, our brown fat can also be activated by some food ingredients such as capsaicin, the compound that makes hot peppers hot. Whereas increased physical activity is usually recommended to increase energy expenditure, specific food components such as capsaicin are known to burn off calories and fat. A significant rise in energy expenditure within 30 minutes of eating the equivalent of a jalapeno pepper. Normally, when we cut down on calories, our metabolism slows down, undercutting our weight loss attempts, but sprinkling 1/3 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder onto our meals counteracts the metabolic slowdown and promotes fat burning. They wanted to try giving them more to try to match some of the studies done in Asia, but they were working with Caucasians, and there's a difference in maximum tolerable dose of red chili pepper between Asians and Caucasians. Take some Japanese women, you can boost the fat burned after a high-fat meal too, adding over a tablespoon of red pepper powder. We've known for decades that cayenne pepper increases metabolic rate, but we didn't know how. But now we have studies showing that this class of compounds increases energy expenditure in human individuals with brown fat, but not those without it, indicating that they increase expenditure straight off the bat. And there's all sorts of structurally similar flavor molecules in other foods like black pepper and ginger we expect to activate thermogenesis as well, but they haven't been directly tested. All these results suggest that the anti-obesity effects of pepper compounds are based on the heat-generating activity of recruited brown fat. Thus, repeated ingestion can mimic the chronic effects of cold exposure without having to freeze ourselves. Consumption of spicy foods may help us lose weight, but what about the sensory burn and pain on our tongues, and sometimes in our stomach as well as further on down? So are our only two options for boosting brown fat to freeze our legs or burn our butts? Arginine-rich foods may also stimulate brown adipose tissue growth and development through a variety of mechanisms, which just means eating more soy foods, seeds, nuts, and beans. During World War I, it was discovered that many of the chemicals for the new explosives they were working on had toxic or even lethal effects on the workers in the munitions factories. Chemicals such as dinitrophenol, or DNP, boost metabolism so much workers were found somewhere along the road after work covered in sweat, with a temperature of 106 degrees Fahrenheit, or even 109 before they die, and then even after death their temperatures keep going up like a total body meltdown. But at subacute doses, workers claimed to have grown thin to a notable extent after several months working with the chemical. That got some Stanford pharmacologists excited about the promising metabolic applications of DNP. One dose, and our resting metabolic rate jumps up 30%, an actual fat-burning drug. People started losing weight, and no apparent side effects as a result of their weight-reducing treatment. On the contrary, they felt great, until thousands of people started going blind, and users started dropping dead from hyperpyrexia, fatal fever, from the heat created by the burning fat. Of course, it continued to be sold. Here at last is a weight-reducing remedy that will bring a figure men admire and women envy without danger to your health or change your regular mode of living. No diet, no exercise. It did work, but the therapeutic index was razor-thin, a razor-thin difference between the effective dose and the deadly dose. It was not until thousands suffered irreversible harm that it got pulled from the market, until, of course, it was brought back by the internet for those dying to be thin. There is a way our body naturally burns fat to create heat, though. When we're born, we go from a nice tropical 98.6 in our mother's womb straight to room temperature, and we're all wet and slimy. This represents a challenge for thermoregulation, for maintaining our warm body temperature. As an adaptive mechanism, the appearance of our unique organ around 150 million years ago allowed mammals to maintain our high body temperatures. That unique organ is called brown adipose tissue, or BAT, whose role is to consume fat calories by generating heat in response to cold exposure. The white fat in our bellies stores fat, but the brown fat, located up between our shoulder blades, burns fat. It's essential for the thermogenesis, the creation of heat in newborns, but is considered unnecessary in adults, has been considered unnecessary, who have higher metabolic rates and increased muscle mass for shivering to warm us up if we ever get cold. So we used to think it was just kind of shrank away when we grew up. But if it was there, then it could potentially make a big difference for how many calories we burn every day, but supposedly we outgrew it. But when PET scans were invented to detect metabolically active tissues like cancer, oncologists kept finding hot spots in the neck and shoulder regions that on CT scan turned out to be not cancer, just fat. Then some observant radiologists noticed they appeared in patients mostly during the cold winter months. And when we looked closer at tissue samples taken from people who had undergone neck surgery, we found it: brown fat in adults. The common message from these studies is that BAT is present and active in adults, and the more we have, the more active it is, the thinner we are. And we can rapidly activate our fat-burning brown fat by exposure to cold temperatures. For example, you hang out in a cold room for 2 hours in your undies and put your legs on a block of ice for 4 minutes every 5 minutes, and you can elicit a marked increase in energy expenditure thanks to brown fat activation. So hey, these studies point to a potential natural intervention to stimulate energy expenditure, turn down the heat, and burn calories, and reduce your carbon footprint in the process. But thankfully for those of us who would rather not lay our bare legs on blocks of ice, our brown fat can also be activated by some food ingredients, such as those we'll cover in the next video.
Now, once again we would like to thank you for watching our top 3 videos for how to increase brown adipose tissue in your body. Hit that like button and that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Also remember that we have links below in the video description that will take you to the official page that you see here, for some fantastic information on a weight loss supplement that is also said to target your brown fat, or what is called low brown adipose tissue, BAT. Note, as it says here, that this is said to be the real root cause of your belly fat and not diet or exercise, as you can see it says here. The featured official website or supplement is called Exapure Weight Loss Supplement. Also, as you can see here as well, this featured supplement is said to be GMP certified. This is also said to be made in an FDA-registered facility. Made with natural ingredients. Manufactured in the USA as well. Also, the featured supplement is said to be GMO-free, as you can see here as we scroll. Now pay particular attention to here, where it shows the ingredients that this featured supplement is said to contain: perilla, kudzu, holy basil, white Korean ginseng, amur cork bark as well, propolis, quercetin and oleuropine as well. There is much more information for you to see once you get to the official page as well. So, if you want to look more into the featured website to see the featured supplement for yourself, all that you have to do is just click on the links provided in this description to see more on the featured Exapure weight loss supplement.